to the Mustache and the Beard.com. Two great geeks, changing the world, one post at a time. My name is Louis Matos. I am the Mustache.
And his name really is Louis Matos.
And I'm here with my buddy,
Junior Figueroa, a.k.a. The Beard, coming to you live from Devil's Island, which is actually, Puerto Rico isn't too bad today. It's a little cooler. We have a breeze passing through here. The beautiful,
don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
Beautiful clouds. Look at those clouds over there. The clouds are gorgeous. And you know you're in Puerto Rico when you have chickens off to the side watching you make a video.
Yes, and this is our get out of jail free number 5. All right. Okay, so
what are we going to do?
We're going to talk about what is a get out of jail free video.
It is everything that we did during the week to get out of doing the stuff that we're supposed to be doing. Okay. In other words, we got out of the prison of chores, and we did stuff that we like.
Yes. So yeah, pretty much the fun stuff that we do to fill our free time. Right. All right. So
clean fun stuff, because there's some fun stuff we can't talk about.
Okay. Let's talk about those things. You want to go first?
Okay. Well, the first thing, I'm still reading my book. Mark of Reprisal, Elizabeth Moon, book 2 of Vada's War.
You're really milking that book, aren't you?
Well, to be honest with you, when I wasn't feeling well, I didn't really
do anything.
I didn't do anything.
You didn't even watch TV. When I feel crappy, I'm just like a veg. Let me watch whatever.
I slept a lot. Okay. So I was feeling under the weather, and over the weekend, and so I didn't do anything. So.
Hence, that's why our Red Capers video was 1 day late.
So, sorry. It happens.
It's all his fault.
It's all my fault.
All right, so that's it for your...
First one. My first one is, okay. I'm still reading Mark of Reprisal by author Elizabeth Moon. It is book 2 of her series, Vada's War. Vada being the name of the main character. I gave the book 1 a high review, and I'm enjoying book 2. Okay.
So it still has you motivated to...
Yes, definitely.
All right. So then I'm going to start with the book that I just recently read. Now, this is not a long book. This was like 140 pages. Oh. It was one of those short books.
Novellas.
This book is called Heartfelt Cases, is the trilogy. Mm-hmm. And this is book 1, The Collins Case. All right. This is by Julie C. Gilbert. Uh-huh. Now, this is an interesting mix because Julie C. Gilbert sent me this book and wanted me to become a part of her book club. Right, and I became a part of her book club.
Yeah, told me about that.
But it's interesting because this is a FBI action Christian mystery.
Oh, that's
yes, right? Did you hear the mix? Yes. It's FBI action Christian mystery. All right. It was.
And she's a profiler, right?
The FBI that's Eva Thomas. That was a different one. But yeah, this one, a woman comes home with her 2 kids, and there are people in her house. They abduct her and her kids. Her husband comes to the house, and he sees that there's been a disturbance. He calls for his wife. Honey, she's not there. But he sees, and she goes, wait, something's wrong here. So he, instead of calling the police, he calls his buddy, who is a police officer. So he calls his buddy says, I'll be right there. So in the interim, he gets a phone call from someone in his past that knows things of his past and says...
Things that not nice.
Yes, things that he would prefer the people not know. And so he says, I want you to burn down your house. and leave the house. And I will contact you. Keep this phone. And it's like, wow. Already. But, I mean, the action scenes in this are really good. So the FBI piece comes in a little later.
This all gets tied up in 150 pages?
Yes. Which gives you a little problem of this book is the fact that the actions, listen, action parts, she does great. It's the Christian ministry part that is a little, it's like, it's too, the word is trite. A little trite, you know? So when someone all of a sudden becomes a Christian, you're like there are parts when the woman is abducted, the fact that she prays, anybody, even a non-Christian would pray.
Right, what's that old expression? There are no atheists in foxholes.
Right, so that aspect is good. It's just when now she says, I'm going to minister to you. And it's just, it seems a little trite, those parts. I mean, moving, because as a person of faith, it's like when you see this in action and it works well, it's like, oh, I love that. And, tear in my eye and everything. We've already established I'm a mush. And so those aspects are really good. The problem is that they're trite. And so someone reading it and all of a sudden it's like, wait, it's like it sticks out. Yeah. It sticks out and it sometimes doesn't fit.
And it shouldn't, because that must disrupt the flow.
Right. If it were a longer novel, as you point out, they would have time to fill in the gaps and
smooth it over.
So that it's not one interaction, one person turning to faith. It's just over certain interactions, over little innocuous things. It's like, oh, I could see that person becoming faithful because.
You do a little foreshadowing, so that when it does happen, you're like, yeah, I saw that coming.
So it's too glaring and jaded. The crime is awesome because the person that the husband, he used to be a counterfeiter. So basically, the big crime that is being accomplished here is, taking $4 to $1 out of people's banking accounts. So only a small amount, but out of millions of accounts. Right. So it turns out to be quite a hefty sum. So storyline good, the accomplishing of it, because it's only 140 some odd pages. It kind of seems kind of rushed, and there's no world building as opposed to boom, 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 boom. All right, so I say Three Gray Geeks. It's interesting. I liked it. It's as a first novel, but some people would be turned off as a consequence of things. But I'm telling you, I liked it because, again, certain moving parts. Also, the story is good. You're next up.
Okay, for my second thing that I did to get out of jail free, I reread this Marvel miniseries, John Byrne's Marvel: The Lost Generation. Now, it's 12 issues. John Byrne, I mean, come on. John
so
Byrne.
You're going to get good art and good story.
A good story. The thing is, the premise is that Byrne realized that with the moving calendar, the moving time period in Marvel, the Marvel characters are always today, even though they may have come out in the 60s. They're always today. Meanwhile, Marvel, of course, had characters that were around during the 30s and 40s, like the original Human Torch, Submariner, Captain America. So now the gap has become larger between the Golden Age and now, enough time for an entire generation of heroes. So what Byrne does is he fills up that time period between the Golden Age and the present age with characters that he created. They're supposed to be Marvel superheroes of a lost generation. They're the ones that fought crime during that period. They're the ones that stopped alien invasions. They're the ones that stopped mad scientists. Because all those things were still going on. They happened in the Golden Age, and they're happening now. They happen in that time, but it can't be Spider-Man or the Fantastic Four or the Avengers doing it because of the sliding time scale.
So this is after World War II.
After World War II, it starts. I think it's 55.
Okay.
Right? And it comes to all the way up to the 80s, even the 90s. But and therein lies the problem, because fantastic artwork, great characters, great story, but you're trying to tell a history. He creates a Avengers type team called the First Line, coming from First Line of Defense, right? And then so he's telling you what happens to this team over the course of a generation. So it's jumping
40 years.
Yeah, it's jumping. So what happens is that it's like if I tell you if I show you Avengers number 5, and then I show you Avengers number 20, okay, and then I show you Avengers number 40.
Oh, so it's not a consistent story.
Right. So it's new characters. Now he brings you up to date. He explains why, you got a new headquarters, or why there's a new leader.
He seems to like to do that, because he did that with Batman. He did that with Superman.
Yes,
right?
yes. It's very much Man of Steel. Very much Man of Steel. So that's problem number 1. Okay? Problem number 2, he's telling 2 stories. Because there's a story of a scientist, a female scientist from the 25th century, Cassandra Locke. The Skrulls are trying to enter into a treaty with Earth, and they're claiming that never to have visited the Earth before, never have tried to invade the Earth or anything. Cassandra Locke believes they're lying. So she uses a time belt, right, to travel back in time. But she's jumping from backwards.
10 years
right?
each.
Right? And what's happening is that she's meeting the First Line as they're moving forward. So her story is being told is
like
going
the Benjamin
backwards.
Button kind of a thing.
Yeah, and meanwhile their story. So she meets, for example, she meets the First Line. They don't know who she is, right? Then later on, she's meeting rather, she meets the First Line. They know who she is. She doesn't know who they are, because for her, she's just meeting them. For them, they've been meeting her over
40 years.
Yeah, so that's confusing also. So it would have been, it's funny because I think it would have been a lot easier if this had been a double miniseries, maybe 25 issues with an annual. Marvel has never done that. Nobody has ever done that. But maybe this should have been the first one, because I think the scope of the story was too big for 12 issues. What Byrne wanted to tell
was a maxi series.
Oh my God! And the thing is that his characters are superb. So well. I mean, we're talking about Byrne.
Yeah.
So well thought out. It's a pleasure to read it, even though it has those
confusing aspects.
That confusing aspect. So I still recommend it. And the thing that hurts me the most is these are such great characters, and Marvel has chosen to totally ignore them, as if they had never done this comic before. And he manages to incorporate the Eternals
Did John Byrne have a fight with Marvel?
I don't know, but it seems like they've gone out of their way to like eliminate Byrne from their history.
Yeah, blacklist.
Everything that he came. Remember when he came up with an explanation for Gladiator's powers, and they totally undid it. So I don't know. He's like blacklisted. Anyway, I recommend it. I give it 3.5 Gray Geeks.
Which is very good.
It is very good. It's very good. I'm telling you that you will enjoy it. The only problem is you may have to read it twice. You know, in order to fully understand the two stories. You know what I actually did? I read it issue 1 through 12, and then I reread it issue 12 through 1. And you know what? Now everything made perfect sense to me. So that's what I recommend. That's what I recommend.
All right, that was pretty cool. Yeah, I'm going to check that out if I can remember the title. One of the things that I want to recommend is I saw this movie on Amazon called Better Watch Out.
Better watch out.
Yeah, it's a Christmas movie. It's 2016, so it's relatively new. It's a Christmas thriller horror with Levi Miller, is 12 years old, Luke. Ed Oxenbould is Garrett. He's also 13, something like that. Olivia DeJonge, Ashley, she's the protagonist, the babysitter, and she babysits the two boys. Better Watch Out is a 2016 psychological horror film that takes place during Christmas, directed by Chris Peckover, who I would also say he directed a movie called Little Monsters. You wouldn't like it because it's zombies, but it's cool because it's like a kindergarten teacher, a first grade teacher, is the protagonist, and she takes her kids on a field trip, and she, the teacher, has to protect her kids. Which, how do you protect little babies like that?
That's an interesting premise.
Yes.
That's an interesting.
Awesome movie, just like this one. Ashley has come to babysit Luke, who is 12 years old, one last time, because she's moving out of the neighborhood. She's going to go to college. It's Christmas, and the parents, played by Virginia Madsen and Patrick Warburton, are off to a party. Ashley is moving, and Luke, who has romantic feelings for her,
Right,
you know,
he's 12 years
he's
old.
12 years old, and
With
she's
those
17.
raging hormones.
Yes, so he's got a crush on her. Wants to make his move while he's watching a horror movie with her. It turns into a horror movie when, you know, they start hearing noises outside, they get the phone call, you know, all of that. And then this movie does a complete switch. So what you thought was a slasher movie becomes more of a survival movie. It looks like there's a babysitter killer on the loose, but the movie switches tracks and becomes survival horror, which, you know, now it's like if you get out, you'll survive. I enjoyed this movie because it had a switch, right? It wasn't your typical.
I was going to ask you if you liked the switch.
Yes, I did like. Originally, I'm like, what? Because that's how I'd never seen it before. I had heard about it, but vaguely. I heard about it as a slasher movie. It's not that. It starts off with the same contrivances that you would normally have in a slasher. You know, the babysitter,
right,
being left home. You know, right. And so
it's at night.
Yeah, so it starts off with all of that stuff, but it gets better. I mean, it's weird. It has that switch. I'm not sure everyone would love the switch. So I'm saying 3.5 Gray Geeks. It's a Christmas movie, so you should check it out.
3.5 Gray Geeks is good.
Yes,
it's
very
good.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Check it out.
That's a recommendation.
Yeah, so check it out and let me know what you think. If you like it, or if no, I didn't like the switch very much.
Okay, the last thing on my list of what I did to get out of jail free is I watched the James Bond movie Quantum of Solace. Now, believe me,
you've seen that one like 10 times?
37 times. Believe me, I've seen them all. But your father watched it the other day.
Yes, he did.
And his talking about it put me in the mood to watch it because this happens to be one of my favorite not my favorite, but it happens to be one of my favorite Bond movies. Daniel Craig also is not my favorite, but he is one of my favorite actors to play James Bond. I like the movie. I happen to really enjoy the song and the credit sequence. I really enjoyed the pre-credit sequence, that car chase in Italy. Fabulous. I love it. I love the action. I find it extremely interesting that Bond never sleeps with the Bond girl in this movie. This is the only Bond movie.
Really?
Yeah, he does not. He sleeps with Strawberry Fields, the female agent that is sent to bring him back and doesn't bring him back, right? And they cover her with oil, and they harken back to the Goldfinger days. He sleeps with her, but he never sleeps with the Bolivian agent, right? They don't have that kind of a relationship, and I find that very interesting. I thought it was very. I know this is going to sound funny, but I thought it was very mature, as if the Bond movies had grown up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, we still had him, you know, because he does bed Strawberry Fields. So we still have the Playboy Bond, but it wasn't like he had to bed everything in sight.
Yeah, usually it's 3 women in one movie.
Oh my God! If we do the Roger Moore years, there's like a dozen. So I really liked it. I know a lot of people. It caught a lot of flack by people who at the time when the movie came out, and basically, you know, I don't care. I like this movie. I really like this movie. I think it's one of James Bond's best. I think Daniel Craig looks fantastic in this movie. And so I give it 4 Grey Geese.
Awesome. Very good. Yeah, I want to see it again.
Yeah. I recommend it, guys. I recommend it. What did you do? What's the last thing you did to get out of jail?
Get out of jail free!
Free!
Was the Grimm. I've been watching the Grimm series.
Grimm series, yes.
I have watched 2 whole seasons.
Yes.
The first 2 whole seasons.
I've only seen the first one.
I'll tell you. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah. It's just like
I know that I did.
Yeah.
If I can interrupt you for a second, the only reason why I didn't keep on watching was I was watching it the first season in the UK with Charmaine.
It's on Amazon.
When I came back is why I stopped watching it.
Yeah, it's on Amazon for free, and it's 6 seasons. So you know it's got a big history. It's an American fantasy horror. Police procedural drama TV series.
Yes.
Try and say that 3 times. Inspired by the Grimm fairy tales. There are 123 episodes in total. I watched 46 episodes, so 22 each season, plus the first 2 for season 3, because they leave you on a cliffhanger. And I'll tell you, when the minute that it ends on season 2, I'm like, damn it! Because it's a cliffhanger. And then on the bottom it says, come on, you knew this was going to happen. It's like, the inside joke. It's the inside joke. They said you knew it was going to be a cliffhanger.
You thought you were going to be able to take a break. No, now you got to go watch season 3.
So that's why I watched the first 2 seasons. The first 2 seasons and the first 2 episodes of season 3, because I needed to get the complete
And now
story.
you're going to have to finish season 3.
No, I know. So the main actor is David Giuntoli and Russell Hornsby. They make a great team. Silas Weir Mitchell, Sasha Royce, Reggie Lee, all really and fun characters. Elizabeth Tulloch is Juliet Jr. There are certain parts where she has to speak Spanish. Flawless Spanish without an accent. It's just, oh my God, they got somebody that can actually speak Spanish, and she's talking to somebody that can actually speak Spanish. It's not like they have a Spanish actor that, only was raised here and doesn't know very much Spanish.
Eric Estrada.
So So I loved that touch. I love Rosalie. She's adorable. I mean, I love all of these characters. Now again, like I was telling you, it gets a little soap opera. You know, you get 10 minutes of the police procedural detective show and 40 minutes of schlock. I lost my memory. Do I love you? I'm not sure I love you. It's like,
Well, I remember the first season, and I don't mean this bad, but I remember the first season being somewhat Buffy-like, which Buffy sometimes got very soap opera.
Yeah, bogged down in soap opera. Yeah. Now, some people may not love the formula, you know. They implement face morphing technology in every episode. Right. So somebody transforms, you know, and it's a flawless special effect. Yes. It's a great special effect. And it was invented just for this show. And let me tell you, it's just perfect for this show. I love that. And so it's Monster of the Week. So you have that same thing. This is the formula. I happen to love the formula. So I say the first two seasons, I'm going to call them 4.5 grade geeks.
Wow. Yeah. I remember loving the first season. I remember loving it.
And there's a part of me that is like, okay, I don't want to it's been 2 weeks and I've seen 2 seasons. It's slow down, you know? Right. Watch other stuff. But, you know, this show lends itself to what's going to happen next. You know, the soap opera thing that I don't like so much. I might like it a little bit. It's just, you know, because you root for the people that love each other, you know? So, 4.5 grade geeks.
Well, that got us through another week.
Yes, absolutely. I hope everyone enjoys those recommendations. Check them out.
Yes. Again, remember, read comics online.
.to.
You can read the comics that we're recommending. You can read them for free.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I had a recommendation with on this week's post for the Batman.
Right.
Yeah, it was Batman, the mystery of the Spider-Woman, of Batwoman.
Batwoman, right, yeah. Right.
And so that one is on Watch.
Right. If you go to Read Comic Online, what do you call that where it has the home, you can hit home and you could hit, what do you call that line?
I know, it's with all those little...
Well, it says home, and it says click here for this, click here for that. If you look at the end, it says cartoons. If you click on that, bar. Yeah, you click on that bar. The last thing says cartoons. If you click on that, it'll take you to watch cartoons, and it's the same thing. You can watch cartoons for free.
Yeah, and movies of animated movies. Absolutely, yeah.
Anime.
Any.
You want to watch? They have all of the Simpsons. You know.
Truly, it's amazing.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Okay. So definitely check those out. These are things that we recommend. We're excited all the time because, you know, listen, I'd love to be able to always give you a recommendation, but there aren't always recommendations.
No.
All right. So
that's the reality.
With that having been said, my name is Louis Matos. I am the mustache.
I'm Junior Figueroa. I beat the beard.
All right, so we say see you later.
Hasta la vista.
Take it easy.
And peace.